Welcome to the Corona and Market Update. My name is Mark Cunaberti, financial columnist for the Union and host of Money Matters Financial Radio on 66 stations nationwide. Okay, so let's talk. Today's Monday, March 13th. The Dow today, 23,390 is where it closed. High, 29,500 and some change. Low, 18,300. I mentioned that we could have seen a retest of the 18,300 level. We went from 29,500 to 18,300, then back up around the mid-19s, 20,000, 21, 22, 23,000, we're about where we are today. And the common belief among many analysts and myself is a retest was possible. However, in light of the almost $5 trillion worth of federal stimulus that has been forthcoming, the many programs that the feds have initiated, the central bank, Federal Reserve has initiated to try to rescue everybody and everything, they've basically given us the message that not only are you too big to fail, that no one will fail. So this is a massive amount of money they've contributed, and the Democrats are now looking at another $500 billion or more. So we're looking at least $5 trillion in stimulus, probably another $5 trillion in loans, guarantees. We're seeing car companies, airline companies, hotel companies, restaurant companies, retail companies, just the complete global shutdown. I've put forward the idea that the cure, which is this global shutdown, possibly could be worse than the disease. There have been suggestions from some analysts, which I've given some serious thought to. Perhaps we should have, instead of shut the global economy down for so long, perhaps we should have isolated those that were most vulnerable and let the other people run the economies. I think because we've been shut down so long, there's going to be so many people that are going to starve, that are going to have health problems. Remember, when we see recessions in world economies, global economies, national economies, we see starvation in emerging countries. We've never seen this before. Some of the things that are going on in the world, which I find extremely interesting, is the national parks are shut. So I read an article today about the animals basically galloping through the valley of Yosemite. We're seeing those things come back, the animals come back. I would imagine it's taking place in many national parks, Yellowstone and so on and so forth. We're seeing people in India claiming they can see the Himalayas 100 miles away for the first time in 30 years. We're seeing air pollution because no jets are flying for the most part. Air pollution is extremely high quality. So I guess you could say there are some good things coming out of this. But the human toll, businesses, individuals, I can't imagine. My forecast was for 50 million, 60, 70 million people filing unemployment. It's over 11 million now and climbing. I'm also thinking that we're going to see massive bankruptcies, some very large, some small. The thought is that we're going to see 25% mortgage defaults. We're already seeing up to 5% of mortgage defaults. Car sales are falling off the cliff. This is, unprecedented. I'm not quite sure. I'm not entirely convinced that shutting down the world economies is the way to go. And we're still not open. I can say what's happening as far as the virus is concerned. Close to 2 million cases worldwide, about 120,000 deaths. That's about a 5 to 6% mortality rate. I personally think the mortality rate is a lot less because we're not testing everybody. We've had 2 million tests that have turned cases positive. I don't know how many tests we've had, but I would imagine there's probably 20 million people that have it, and we've only tested 2 million. That's my opinion only. Countries-wise, as far as we're seeing 210 countries affected. In my Nevada County here, which is between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe, we have had only 34 cases and only one death, and it hasn't climbed from 34 in 48 hours. There has been a report coming out now from Stanford because of the low amount of deaths in California in relation to how much population we have, that perhaps the COVID virus rolled through here in December. I can personally attest to the fact that I had a close friend. She was 70 something years old. She had a horrible, horrible cough for 2 or 3 weeks. And my son's high school had 25% of the student population that was affected with a flu. They shut the school down for 2 days. Stanford University is coming out with a report that's basically saying we may have seen it here in California already. Remember, there's 61,000 flu deaths in the flu season in a standard year, in a regular year. So, although this is highly contagious, and we are seeing, unfortunately, many older people die or people with pre-existing conditions, I'm not so quite sure this is as deadly a flu as people think it is. I think that perhaps some of it is media hype. I know a lot of you are going to be upset that I said that, but this is what I truly believe. Let's take a look at the business news. Governors on the East and West Coast are forming groups to talk about reopening the economy today. I think they're probably getting pressure from their constituents that this is just, way beyond what anybody bargained for. Hospitals, of course, are still over taxed. A lot of hospitals are overtaxed with COVID-19 cases. But again, our local hospitals here, no, not such. Not such is happening. It's a strange thing about the virus. It hits some people and not others. It's hard. Some people are not even symptomatic at all. The paper towels and the toilet paper and the Clorox wipes and the Lysol wipes are still out at our supermarkets. Here we are, 4 or 5 weeks into this. Their company's doing the best they can to produce this stuff. I think the world will change after we open up. I think they're going to be still buying disinfectant wipes. Everybody's going to be a little bit more careful. Everybody's going to still stay farther apart. What is interesting in China, in Wuhan, in the district of Hubei, where this flu virus initiated, they've lifted the lockdown, and the national parks there and the airports are jammed. I've seen pictures of people on walkways and catwalks and things in the national parks that look like they're in a Disneyland ride. They're all wearing masks, but they're all next to each other. It's just insanity. So far, the U.S. Postal Service is still functioning. They're going to need another bailout. They got a couple of billion. They're going to need more money for sure. Your stimulus checks should be coming. If you have electronic deposit, they'll be coming a lot faster. Also, the PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan, those are starting to hit. The loans are starting to hit. Haven't known anybody personally that has one, but I'm reading that they are starting to hit. And the unemployment checks are going out. So hopefully that will help people there. I can't imagine what would it be like to have a hand-to-mouth existence or a business where you just can't take it if things are shut down for a month. I will say that those of you that can afford it, please support your restaurants and businesses when they reopen. Go out 7 nights a week if you can afford it. You've obviously been staying home for a long period of time, so let's see if we can change that. There's a need for blood, for volunteer blood donors. That is a very critical need. Also, food banks all over the country, if not all over the globe, are in need of volunteers and funds. So if you can help there, that would be appreciated. And also, there's been things going on in Washington, all the political stuff. There we go. Bernie Sanders has pulled out. Today he had endorsed Joe Biden. So there we go. As far as the markets, Goldman Sachs came out today and they said that the double bottom that I had mentioned that I believed was possible, they said that may not happen. That's Goldman Sachs. That's an opinion. Nobody can forecast markets' direction at any time. I still think this is a dangerous market. The fact that the market has gone up 20-25% in the last 3 weeks while people are unemployed is just not only interesting, it's almost sad that so few people are participating in the stock market while people are struggling terribly financially. The YouTube channel is Mark Cunaberti. I will bring you daily, or if not every other day, updates on the virus. We're looking hopefully forward to the lockdown being removed. I know that personally a lot of people are saying that they're going a little bit crazy, and around in my county, it almost looks like nobody is staying home by the amount of cars. Now, downtown businesses, they still look vacant. Parking lots vacant. All the parks are closed. Restaurants are closed. So that looks vacant. But there are the amount of people that are driving around and traveling around is pretty amazing. People are waving to each other on the streets. Our local township here at 7 o'clock, they go out and ring the bells in solidarity and companionship. So some good things will come out of this, but I think a lot more bad things will come out of this. I think, folks, that the world has changed forever. So I'll be watching the markets so you don't have to. The website is moneymanagementradio.com. Everything is free there. And the YouTube channel is under Mark Cunaberti. Be safe, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit.